movie club fans, and welcome to the Chabot Movie Club. We wanted to thank you, our loyal community, for continuing to choose our theater as your place to watch all of your favorite films at. Your support really means everything to us. Now, not only did we host a grand premiere, but we collaborated with the godly, the electrifying, the almighty comic book shop Crush Comics to bring you By Odin's Beard, a community Thor-themed art exhibit curated by the wonderful Miles Ritchie. With over 30 artists, an exclusive pin release next door at Crush Comics, and the return of the Elsa's Own food truck. Quite the night. It's events like these that show that we're much more than just bringing you the biggest blockbusters from Hollywood. We're about fostering local talent. We're about creating a community. We're about building something that truly lasts. This place holds a lot of special memories. Memories of first dates, first movies, and even weddings. Ever since the opening in the 1950s, the Chabot Theater has and will continue to be a cultural staple in not only Castro Valley, but within the Bay Area as well. Which brings me to talk about a special tradition that we have here at the Chabot when it comes to comic book and superhero films. Crush Comics will come after the film to host a debrief panel where they talk about their thoughts regarding the film. Now, without further ado, this is our live audience reaction to Thor, Love and Thunder. Oh, and of course, spoilers ahead. For more information regarding tickets and showtimes, feel free to visit our website at www.thechabot.com. Enjoy.
Got the artwork?
Check.
Nailed?
Check.
Where's the hammer?
Yeah, I don't do those.
You don't do hammers?
Not anymore. Use that one.
It's so shiny. You want to try to with it first?
We have to get worthy.
He loved a wolf woman on a woman wolf.
Those ones are powerful. We're here to take you home. Yes.
God of disaster. We thank you.
Thor, you okay?
Yeah, bro.
Alright, everybody just relax and go to this.
There's not a you ever go.
Oh, hey guys. This is Glenda. We're married.
Hey, what did we tell you?
Sake. But you cannot trust. We're the dragon is out. Finish. He'll tell you exactly who you are. You survived.
Shit.
Maybe your arm is in Valhalla. What happened to him? Jane?
Axel.
Astrid.
I said Axel.
Astrid.
Axel!
Asshole, now listen to him.
Axel, you've gone quick, didn't you? Good sound piece of work. We're just talking.
It's supposed to speaker.
Hold on, children. Do not do that anymore. Dark times. Shameful times.
I mean, eventually. Right?
Sorry we've been fighting lately.
Well, the dude I met called Dwayne. What about Thor, you ask?
No, you're not.
Go to hell, demon!
Brand new.
Oh, wow.
That is not coming off. What?
You understand me, my son.
Yes, Father. Jane. I see you're dead now.
Hello everyone, my name is DJ Mercado. I am the Director of Operations here at the Chabot Theater. First and foremost, thank you all for coming for tonight's showing of Thor: Love and Thunder. We wanted to highlight Fresh Comics for their hard work with the art exhibit right next door. We've had a lot of planning, and they're also going to be doing a after movie debrief after this. So stick around, feel free to use the restroom, or there's also our taco truck outside. They're really good if you want to have some great nights. Otherwise, we'll have our debrief in a couple of minutes. So yes, thanks again for all coming.
Welcome to the Chabot. This is Crush Comics' debrief after Thor: Love and Thunder.
All right, guys. Thanks for staying after the show for our debrief. How did you guys like Thor: Love and Thunder? As you know, we're Crush Comics. I'm Andrea, this is Josh, we have Cole and Miles. Yeah, let's start it off. Who wants to go first?
Hi everyone. 4th or 11th. Yeah. I can't do this all the time. Thank you very much. That was a really cool movie. Taika went absolutely crazy. He warned us about this. He said that this is like they let a 10-year-old write the script, and I totally... Yeah, that was nice of him to warn us. That was really cool. Eternity is a really cool looking character from the comic books, and that design was as good as you could get. That was really cool to look at. I enjoyed a lot of the visual aspects of this movie. It was fun. A lot of kids punching stuff.
Cool.
I enjoyed it. That was cute. That was fun. I like a little kid lightning kung fu as much as the next guy. And yeah, that was cool. There are a lot of fun Easter eggs for the fans. There are a lot of cool references to Norse mythology as well that I was picking up on. I thought those were cool. And Christian Bale did his thing.
Yeah, I thought this one was super fun. It's very Taika, right? Like Taika, this is kind of his style, and they really let him loose. So the character of Gore, the God Butcher, his first appearance is in
Thor, God, Thunder, Dark One, I think.
Two. I think it's number 2. Yeah. Created by Jason Aaron and Esad Ribic. And the look of a lot of the shots in this movie are right out of the book. So
Absolutely.
like when you see the god, the big mountain god.
Where they find Sif.
When they were scrolling through, they also showed another recreation of a panel from issue 1 of that book, where it was all the gods on the meat hooks.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So to see those visuals like reflected so accurately in the movie is really cool. The story of Gore is really dark, and this was less dark, I feel like.
Yeah.
But this was super fun. I had a great time. Yeah, Eternity looked amazing. Eternity is spot on like a Ditko image. And I want to talk more about Easter eggs, but we'll get there. Andrew, what do you think of the film?
So I'm a huge Thor fan. I have loved Thor's arc from Thor 1 through Avengers and ending where he did. I was really excited for this movie, but it didn't land for me, unfortunately. I love Jane. I thought Natalie did a great job. I thought Christian Bale did a great job. But, and I mean, I'm gonna clean my house to that soundtrack for like the next 2 months for sure. But I think that for me, Wanda in Doctor Strange hit as like, I understand why you're a villain because you lost your children, right? Like as a mother, I get that. This piggybacks right after Doctor Strange of another, I will go to the end of the world to fight for my child, just fell flat for me. I just felt like it was a really good time. I love Tessa Thompson. She was great.
She was cool.
I love that they really like took Jason Aaron's story and like paid homage to it, right? Like I love when they do that and they like really use the source material. It was a little slow. I thought that the pacing was a little, and sorry, I wanted to like it so much, and I thought that the fight scenes were really fun. Jane, you call me Dr. Foster, that was cool. My kids are gonna love it. My kids are gonna really, really love it, and that's cool. And I watch it on Disney Plus, for the next 6 months. But I just, yeah, I really wanted it to be just
something different.
I just wanted a lot of moments, and like I didn't get it. So that's how I
Agree, disagree, gentlemen? Concur, if you feel this.
Thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I'm usually the one that's like, I thought it was so cool, and they're like, so I guess we're just flipped this time.
That's what you come for. You never know what to expect with us.
Well, you guys all focused on Eternity, which was cool, but most people were talking about the 6 other statues in it.
Yes.
They have the Watcher,
Watcher.
the Celestial.
You saw Death. I didn't see Death, that's right. Okay.
Scully guy.
Okay. And then also the Living Tribunal.
Yes, the Living Tribunal.
We did just see the Living Tribunal in one of the like universe jumps in Multiverse of Madness, so that was really cool. Yeah.
We also saw a bearded guy who I think maybe is but he was
That's
like,
cool. That's cool.
What's his name too? The Beyonder? Is he on there?
Was the Beyonder in it?
Yeah.
I don't recognize.
Or the Grandmaster?
Yeah, I could only see the people on the right. I couldn't recognize anybody on the left. But like, yeah, we saw the Celestial head following the kids, and then the Watcher was right next to him, and then the Living Tribunal. That was cool.
That's okay, Disney Plus freeze frame.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, can't wait.
There's a sentient bow.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I wish we had more time with the Pantheons, because and actually that's another thing that visually is right out of the Sonrivic stuff is the what do they call it? The Omnipotent City, right? That looks almost exactly like out of the Pantheon. Really cool. Yeah.
I don't like that they keep teasing Galactus.
I don't know if they're teasing
They're
it.
not teasing it, but I mean, like,
Every time he's not here, I'm teased.
yeah, like they put out Trinity's.
Yeah,
They did this.
That's Jack Kirby's fault. Before drawing everything with these on their head.
I guess you're right.
But man, Eternity looked cool.
Steve Ditko drew Eternity.
But Eternity looked really cool.
Eternity did look cool. There was a lot of cool visuals. I think that the black and white stuff was cool.
Cool.
I like that. I mean, yeah.
Okay. For folks that don't know, the Necrosword is the weapon of Null, god of the symbiotes, as in like Venom, right? The dude that was slayed on the ground at the very beginning of the movie looked like he was wearing Null-ish armor. I don't know if they're ever going to go there, but that was cool. He looked like
They legally can go there.
Shut up, Sony. Get out. Biggest Sony fanboy I've ever met. Get out.
Long story short, Sony and Marvel have to share Spider-Man, and there's a lot of weird little legal clauses that come with that. So I don't know if they can legally ever get to Noel, but I would love that because he's a really cool new contemporary character.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. Also, a little detail I liked that it was 8 years to Thor and 3 years to Jane because she got blipped.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Good catch.
I had to bust out the calculator mid-movie, but I figured it out. Is this us? Is it that man?
I think Korg's still trying to call it Ghost.
Oh man, Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder.
That was really cool.
I mean, I think it's us. I don't know why.
It was Miles.
Was it?
Sony. That's Sony's fault.
Yeah.
It's the hammer.
Yeah, the hammer. Like that was really cool. The explosion, like AOE effect, that was cool.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't have a wig moment for her in the comic. So I think it's really cool that it's funny. I think that the actresses are kind of having a lot of input in these movies, which I think is really, really awesome. I know that Natalie said she wouldn't come back if she didn't get the hammer. And in the book, she dies of cancer, but she's bald. And I was waiting for her hair to fall off because it read a little wig in few scenes.
And God knows she shaved her head for at least 3 other roles before.
I know, she's not like she
she's
hasn't
almost
done it
as
before.
method as Christian Bale.
Yeah, and so I kind of thought that it was that they should have had her bald in some of it, just to be.
Technically, she doesn't die in the comics. She becomes Jane Foster Valkyrie, which I think is what they're setting up.
I think it was cool to see her. She does
flatline
in the comics, does she not?
Say again?
She does flatline in the comics.
She goes to the gates of Valhalla. She's like, nah, I'm not done. And she goes
Well,
back.
yeah, that's when they go into Jane Foster's Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Right next to her. At your favorite comic shop.
I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty jarred by Heimdall's random son.
Random kid.
But then he did that sick kickflip, and I can't argue with that. And he caught the hammer pretty good too. So I mean,
The floating head effect was a trip.
I almost fell out my seat, brother. I wasn't ready. It's like, oh yeah, it's me, Heimdall's son. Don't you know? I was like, no, I don't. I don't know. But I like that too.
I like the bit where the bunny was channeling the thing.
That was really cool.
Yeah, and
I
then
really liked
with
it.
the crazy hair, which I understand.
I think I like that moment so much because usually I don't think that's something I would like. I think it's usually something I roll my eyes at.
Yeah.
But I think there's a part of this that unlocked that kid fantasy of just like, yo, Thor gave me temporary Thor powers. And there were so many shadow monsters to power bomb. Like,
Yeah.
I was feeling
It was a
it.
great
It was
moment.
fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit on the cheesy side, but.
You're done. You're done.
That's it.
Everyone keeps acting like it's me, it's not me.
The other end.
I think if we take it as a cheesy movie, it's very successful and it's very fun. And I think what was maybe like not clicking for me is that it was also trying to be really emotional.
Mhm.
And I guess you can do both.
It was kind of all over the place tonally a little bit. Not all over the place, but yeah, trying to do maybe too many things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I miss the pulpiness of the god bomb. In the comics, Thor's plan is to kidnap the god of bombs and make a big bomb to blow up the gods, and that's just hilarious. So I really wish they would have kept that, just because it's so pulpy.
Oh, I'm just gonna wish all the gods away.
Yeah, they turned eternity into a genie.
Yeah. There's a lot of wishes that they put in movies. I think that's kind of I feel like
Eternity in the comics probably would just slap Christian Bale in the head like, what are you
bugging me?
Yeah, how'd you get here?
Yeah.
Anybody else?
What's with the bad latex?
The bad latex. Oh, on Christian Bale.
Yeah, so.
I've done stage and film makeup, and I've been sitting here through the most two recent Doctor Strange appearances and this one, and I'm like, I really hope that's deliberate because I know exactly how to make it not suck.
So I really love the kind of poorly, maybe we'll just call it poorly done, latex on zombie Doctor Strange.
Oh, no,
because I thought that was like super fitting.
It was pure
yeah.
classic.
Yeah.
Classic
Evil
him.
Dead, right?
But
Yeah.
like every time we see Doctor Strange, his wig looks more like a wig, and I'm like, tell me y'all are not paying $5,000 for a lace front wig for every shoot, and you're putting it on him like he walked past you and you went. I'm like, really? And I'm just seeing as they're getting more and more into some of these effects, unless it's with the head and the CGI, the actual applied effects and the makeup are slowly getting worse. And I'm like, are they waiting to do an outcry so they can go back and do everything CGI? I don't know. I wonder if they're manufacturing the process. It's just, I'm hoping it's deliberate that they're trying to go for something that maybe this isn't obvious. But it's a little disappointing from somebody with a theater and makeup background.
Yeah. I can see that. Some interesting things about Gore's appearance in this picture compared to what he is in the comic. Taika actually came out and said that they had to change his appearance because in the comics he looks too much like Voldemort. He's got the snake nose kind of vibe.
He didn't know that.
Yeah.
And in most of his appearance scenes where he's walking out of the darkness, he looks like he has a snake nose.
Yeah, I can see that. I liked his eyes. His eyes were pretty cool. I think as Marvel, we used to get a good like 2 a year, and now we're averaging 4 a year and 6 shows. And I just think as these become, unfortunately, for lack of a better term, more conveyor belt, I just think there's no time for appliances. I'm also in film and television props and makeup and various other things, and they need stuff tomorrow. Like they need stuff yesterday, and I just think maybe getting that perfect look on Christian Bale, they just have to forego things like that. It's the deadlines are really insane. COVID slowed things down, building a really big like it's like a clog that just burst, and now everything just needs to get out the door, and production has been back up for years. It's pretty hectic behind the scenes, and I can deal with some fraying edges on the prosthetic.
But there's little bits that some people notice and some people won't.
Right.
They're sitting there going, am I noticing it because I know another way? And that's what I'm wondering, is
Is
it
it
deliberate?
deliberate?
Or were they trying to go for a certain look at a certain point in the movie to get, to have it help pull at that emotional reaction they're trying to get? They were building up to usher into but the comedy and the emotions were fighting the whole damn thing. Right? So I have to keep kind of going, okay, brain, stop.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
But on the back of my head, I'm like,
Yeah. Anybody else comments?
Yeah, so I think one of the reasons why I agree with like the tonal shifts were a little weird. I think that had to do with the abrupt personification of wheelchair guys.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you have 3 movies where they've never referred to them or talked to them, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's a serious movie. It's like, oh, we poured beer on Stormbreaker. And I think that comes with the tonal shift. Is all of a sudden they're personifying. They're making new characters that have already been 3 movies
Yeah.
Right, and I think that, I mean, what I was trying to infer from that was like Mjolnir and Stormbreaker were an allegory for Thor and Jane, and like, you know, that was sort of a thing that was going on, but it doesn't really click, right? Because it's...
To be fair, that's on the books too right now. I mean, Odin is literally inside of Mjolnir at the moment in the comics, so yeah,
Okay.
that's very strange. They revealed that there's a living storm that was trapped inside of Mjolnir. I'm not for it. It's not good.
Yeah, Mjolnir like became manifest, like a being. That's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of goof, right, in this movie, and it's like, but then like we're also fighting to avenge unjust, you know, the unjust death of your daughter by a god that's not doing his job. Right?
I think maybe what you were talking about earlier, like maybe they're going to the well too much with a parent trying to get their kids.
Let's make this person sympathetic, like that. It's shorthand.
Yeah, but I think one significant.
Like that's who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of the problems is they were trying to shorthand things they have more time to develop in the book, and also they're taking the story, but they don't really want to do Thor, the God Butcher, God Bomb. They want to do Love and Thunder, right?
Right, and I mean, it's maybe also the timing that you've just had Doctor Strange, you know, and then we're just piggybacking that same motivation, and you know.
But I think like one significant difference that maybe makes this kind of cool is that, you know, Wanda's motivation is to get her kids back, and Gore's motivation is just vengeance. So like that's you know, maybe two different sides of the same.
It is weird though that his motivation was to get a wish, and he never thought about.
He's like, oh, damn, I should have just wished for that. Yeah.
Maybe I just go up to Thor and be like, hey, can I go chat to the attorney real quick?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I wish we got to see more of the different pantheons. That's one thing that they show in the book quite a bit. That's very cool and interesting, finding all these different.
Tyler, would you like to come up and share your thoughts?
So Tyler is actually like one of the biggest Thor fans.
Like symposium.
Explaining something that I asked why in the comic books Thor was killing everybody. It's the same exact reason.
Okay.
And that's it. Why you gotta call me out?
I didn't call you out, Billy. I called Tyler out.
I think in the comics, two gods are having a big fight. Yeah. Squash everybody. I think one of them's Noah, if I remember.
One of them waiting on the first appearance of Noah before he looks like Noah.
Before he looks like Noah. What's up?
Well, this is not. So I'm talking really good about. It's another topic that I don't see people seeing much. With all the characters we've gotten that are going to get here 2023, 2024, they have all but around one character from another comics team that includes a couple heroes. They're really not. I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name, but it's Squirrel Girl, Ms. Marvel.
Marvel Rising?
Yeah, Marvel Rising. Who else is on that team? Squirrel Girl.
America. There is Inferno.
Is it America?
It's America.
Yeah.
America's on
In
that team.
MCU, we've seen almost all of them. I mean,
But no Squirrel Girl. Apparently they filmed a pilot for, was it a Defenders show with Squirrel Girl? And the young woman from the AT&T commercials, Miliana Valantarub, I'm unfamiliar with the name, but she played Squirrel Girl and apparently she did a really good job. Super campy, very funny, but it got passed on. She is the voice actress in the cartoon shows. Yeah.
So, Squirrel Girl's supposed to be very handy.
Yes. It's fitting, right?
Yeah, I mean, her book basically is a pop-up video. Like, that's what her volumes are such. They have little pop-ups at the bottom, and it's great. It's so much fun.
most people don't know where we have seen the kid Captain America. He was the kid from the Black Super Soldier guy.
Yeah. Isaiah Bradley's grandson.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, super cool.
Seen Quake through some parts canon, some parts not of the Shield.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah. Setting up a lot of different Avengers teams. So we'll see where they go, I guess. You know, they got a lot of choices here. Go ahead. I was just gonna say one thing that I'm like, in this particular phase that we find ourselves in the Marvel movies, I really want a cohesive through line, and we don't have that yet. Like since Avengers, right? Every movie was leading to Thanos, and that was super, super cool. We don't have that right now, and I want to know, Kevin, what are you doing?
Where are we going?
Crazy man, tell me. Like, let me know.
Yeah. Are you going to tie these
Because
together?
Hercules is not a big bad,
No.
right? Hercules looked cool. He looked cool. Costume was cool. He looked like Hercules.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree. I think that's what we're missing. We're not assembling anything like we were in the first place.
Not this time. Not this time.
Somebody else got a secret microphone going on here.
Somebody has a microphone in the audience, just messing with us. Yeah. So I think overall, it seems like we're all kind of in agreement that it was fun. It's a fun movie. Is it beyond that? Now, oh.
It seems like you're getting clips of the Dark Avengers. Hercules was part of the Dark Avengers.
Heard about that,
You got US Agent, the other Black Widow.
Elaine Bennis, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe they're doing a really wide scatter shot, which is why it's not cohesive, and
Yeah.
hopefully they'll
Find
bring it
out
together
what
later.
people stick on, yeah.
Sadly, the Dark Avengers are being assembled by.
We don't know yet. They might change the story.
Yeah, Madam Hydra, right?
Yeah.
Madam Hydra is the one.
I guess my question I'd be asking myself if I was in that room right now is like, what do you follow? Because I agree, I want them to be building some speakers beatbox. I think we're gonna have to deal with it. Yeah, no, I feel like well, you got a villain like Thanos, even in the Infinity Gauntlet original comic storyline, where you got somebody that's killed half of the universe. You brought it to that level where you kind of take it to next, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the dude who eats planets, Galactus is hype, Silver Surfer's hype, but he eats planets. This dude killed half the universe, you know?
Yeah.
Unless, I don't know.
That's the same thing, but just one at a time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying they can't do it, I just question, we're going through the Rolodex of villains I know, and I'm like, what do you?
We need to get to Galactus. Galactus is the only thing that makes sense. Kang is cool, but give me some more Kang. Give me some more Kang. I want them to connect. I mean, for me, being a comic book nerd and watching these movies forever now, what, 15 years or something stupid like that? So much of my life, right? But I think what was most exciting for me was how they all tied in and how they connected. And each movie that I saw was a tie-in of another big event, and I'm missing that right now. So Kevin, don't make me get the Necrosword completely.
To speak on kind of just like the cohesiveness of the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now, it kind of reminds me of like how you can have different comics of the same character written, and you have a really campy kind of like vibe, but then you also have like a really dark vibe or stuff like that. But the problem with the Marvel Cinematic Universe is that they want it all to be tied together, but then they have just separate storylines of different writers and different directors.
Yeah.
So then you go from Doctor Strange, who is kind of directed by like a horror director, who's really known for stuff that's really gory and really like dark, but he can also be kind of campy. But then you go to the extreme opposite, which is just super campy, super bright colors.
Yeah.
With the little sprinkle-ins of the dark, depressing, and then you have you're trying to appease the Marvel Cinematic Universe instead of just leaning way into what they're good at.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like, you have to be campy, but also horror, but then then also a little bit, dramatic and a little sad. But then you have different directors who have totally different what they're good at, but then they have to fit into like a Marvel Cinematic Universe box.
Right.
Instead of like comic books where they can do what they want to do with that storyline and not have to tie into other things necessarily.
And they also come out more often, right?
Yeah.
So like, that's something I'm always thinking about when the movie doesn't build and I'm disappointed. I gotta remind myself that I'm used to reading comics where I gotta wait a month, or if not, if they're building to some big event, I can read that event in another comic, right? So it's kind of...
If Amazing stuff this week, you can read Spectacular.
Right, but if Love and Thunder sucks, I'll see you with Black Panther, I guess.
Wait, just pause. I forgot when I was watching. Did anyone else get Labyrinth vibes? Like, I got the bird people in the beginning.
Those were very proud.
Yeah.
That was very proud.
And
Yeah.
how they were beyond just
Oh yeah, they do kind of look like zombies. I like Kraglin having the fin.
Yeah.
Cool. Kraglin got the fin.
Yeah, we have a question right here.
Yeah.
It's not really a question, but more so a comment. I think speaking on the sort of cohesiveness of the MCU, I'm not exactly sure how true this is, but I think Kevin has stated that he wants to build 3 different sections within the universe, sort of the street level, like Hawkeye, Falcon and Winter Soldier, the cosmic level, and then the multiversal level. And so I think taking it in that direction would be interesting, but I get what you're saying about how it sort of feels sort of aimless where we're sort of heading it.
Where's the X-Men level is my picture.
Could they do it right? That's the problem.
How hard can it be? You got the blue one, he jumps, does teleports. You got Wolverine, he goes snick it, and he just run around. He goes snick it. We all know this. S-N-I-K-T. It's a classic onomatopoeia. Snick it. Snick it. Nightcrawler goes Bam.
Yes.
I can't think of
I've always said it.
Spider-Man goes to it.
Snicked. Not like you got 2 syllables in there. That's what the kid right in the time. What is snicked? Snicked.
Spider-Man goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably a good point, right? Because when Galactus is getting ready to eat the planet, what's Moon Knight gonna do? I mean, what's
he can fly now.
I mean, is Matt Murdock gonna like sue him? I'll see you in a court of law, Galactus. I'm super excited for the She-Hulk show. Speaking of courts of law, the She-Hulk run that Dan Slott did years ago was super funny, super Alan McNeil, big funny opportunities there. I'm excited for that.
In the She-Hulk trailer, they also had Frogman.
They did, yeah, that's true. Frogman, they have Andy the Android.
Yeah, there's got to be a guy that just reads old Marvel comics and picks out like Z-list characters. I need to be that guy.
Yeah.
You know Kevin, talk to me. That's a good job. Somebody's just sitting back and reading like, I don't know what's going on this week, just throw in Frogman.
Very good.
Anybody?
That's cool.
I think another thing to think about of Phase 4 of the MCU is the fact that a lot of these solo films aren't really solo films anymore. After like the end of the Avengers, we're seeing like Spider-Man and Doctor Strange in the Spider-Man solo movie, Doctor Strange, Wanda, and America, and Doctor Strange and the 3 other heroes. The Thor movie rather than focusing on one character, maybe that's why it feels a little more aimless, is because rather than focusing on each character individually and together, it's just doing the team up thing in each one.
So that's, I guess, one thing that I think is really cool about Miss Marvel right now is that actually feels kind of like a return to form for, you know, we just get to see a regular person get their powers and explore that. So that show has been really cool. And we got one person. I mean, like Carol exists in the background, but I mean, to my knowledge, we haven't seen the newest one. But, I don't know if anybody else shows up.
This week's was awesome.
Was it?
Yes.
That's been really cool.
Others do show up.
Okay, cool. Well, exciting.
That's interesting though, because it kind of reminds me of, back in the day, there was a time when National Publications, was DC, used to control the distribution for Marvel, and they were like, you can only put out 6 books, sorry. So they had to start combining books where it'd be like Iron Man and Captain America, or you'd have like Doctor Strange and Nick Fury. And like looking at this newest phase, it does kind of feel like that. Like you see the Guardians of the Galaxy got their own credits, like just throw them in there real quick. Like, get them out. It's fun.
It's like the old Marvel team-up series. They
Yeah,
did.
Exactly.
Yeah. Did you notice that he's Nick Fury? Or
Furry.
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 That was very cool.
Furry.
That was funny. That whole little montage of like Jane and Thor like having a hard time, that was really like cool and different from what we normally see in superhero fare. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm a sucker for romance. I want it. I want it in every movie, every story, everything.
Their whole
Give me
relationship
the
like,
romance.
happened off
But
stage.
yeah. I think we have a question. I think we have a question back.
I just thought like when Zeus was talking about how like Asgard problems are only Asgard problems, it reminded me of Moon Knight when all the gods were talking about how they like turned their back on
Yeah.
sitting under Jane and Valkyrie was, I think, their daughters from.
Bad?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that, like, they referenced that after, like, getting promoted, which I thought was kind of like a nice.
I think that they're great. I think the Matt Damon and the other Hemsworth. I don't want to say the lesser Hemsworth, but I don't know his name.
Luke. There were 4 Hemsworths in the movie too.
Yeah, because his kids are running in the scene.
And his daughter's playing Love.
Is his daughter
Really?
Love?
That's his daughter? Oh my god, that warms my heart. That's so cool. When are we gonna see her in the comics?
Yeah.
Is she in the comics?
I think that my favorite part of the whole movie is the end where we get the title.
Yeah.
The end where we get
That
where
was
it
really
was going the whole time. It was
can't wait to watch
like,
this
okay, I guess we can. I guess I like it because we got here. It just took a lump.
They call them flap cakes? Pan flaps. Pan flaps. Disney is... That's my new really like attaching children companions, bro. We got Grogu's, we got Princess Leia's, and now we have Lives. And yeah, I guess everyone gets a kid now.
I mean,
Crazy
it is
Eternity
Disney.
Eyes.
It is Disney.
She's got big hands.
Mjolnir's got a face.
Yeah. Mjolnir's got a face. And did you
And
notice like the
Sparky.
streamers? I love it. It's rad.
Yeah.
It's rad.
Yeah, I did really actually, I kind of like Love as a character for the little they've shown of her. I think that's really cool as a kid because it kind of gives like a deeper kind of like acting, like,
Yeah.
you can kind of feel it through the screen that they kind of know each other a
Yeah.
little bit more than just the characters. However, I did like look it up after the credits were rolling that she actually just dies in the comics.
Yeah.
What? Like that's kind of what I saw from a couple articles that I was reading. But they added her to the MCU as a new character, pretty much.
Yeah.
And that, but
Which
I did
means
think
she'll
that
be
was
in the
really-
comics again.
Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
notice
Yeah.
that the comics inform the movies a little bit, and then the movies change stuff, and then the comics are like, oh yeah. Like Peter Parker had organic web shooters for a while. That was weird and gross.
It's really weird when you see them change stuff out of nowhere in the comics. You're like, what's going on over at the Marvel Studios lot? What are we doing?
How many times can Jean Grey die?
Well, you know, she's still trying to figure that out. She's still I think she's a 6.
Cool. So, anything else? I think I'm a little sleepy.
One more thing, you guys are talking about building up to another big bad. The Beyonder and the Secret Wars.
That would be really cool. And the Russo brothers have said they'd love to do that, right?
Project they'd come back.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
So that would be really cool.
Well, it seems like there's a lot of influence, right? When creators or actors are saying, "I'll come back for this," or
Yeah.
Elizabeth Olsen said, "I don't think they'll ever do House of M."
It's like, yeah.
And it's like, you guys would be crazy.
Yeah.
So I think that is
Could happen.
could happen.
Secret Wars would be fun. Yeah.
So, talking about like leading up to other things, when it first came to mind, they were like, oh, we're just gonna sprinkle these in a little bit so you can kind of have like just when it comes up later, we did hint it before kind of thing. At the end of Doctor Strange, they had the tear in the sky, right?
Yeah.
And one of the ones that I first saw when that happened was Kraven.
Yeah.
And they have done like, there was nothing else about that. They were like, here's Kraven, he's like a little star guy, and it kind of looks like Kraven, and there was a list on a couple websites of like what was up there. And like that's kind of what they did with this movie too. It's like we're not gonna specifically name what these things are, but they are gonna be in the movie for later use kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that Terminator was there. I thought they were going to come
Well,
out.
he looks really cool. I thought it was gonna stop the part that was really cool. But I wish he had like said something.
I thought it was going to be a dude.
Yeah.
It's like-
Just a regular old dude.
Yeah.
Should've just been Taika Waititi.
No better rank. No better rank.
It's never going to
Like,
happen.
what is it? I think Thor's
Beta Ray Bill all day. It's never going to happen.
As a statue.
Yeah, he's a grandmaster.
They'll never do a Tri-East.
Quick thing on Beta Ray Bill. He showed up, beat Thor up. Oh, he said, stop hitting my son. Let's do a rematch. He beat Thor up again. He said, please stop hitting my son. Here's your own hand. So, who's more than that? If they're not going to do that, then do we really want it?
You could have done it, right? Because like Beta Ray is like champion of the atheists, right? Like he couldn't fit in this story.
It didn't even need to make sense, but if he was on that podium, I might have ran through the script. Just to give him a
Cool. All right.
Final thoughts? I wanted to say the best of my night was seeing the gallery next door that
If you guys
Miles
haven't-
curated.
check out the show next door.
Please stop by. It's running for how long? Do you wanna?
10 days. So it's funny because it's like 10 days, but someone has to be there, so no art heists happen. So we might have to. I'll talk to DJ. We might do it by appointment. Maybe you can not bother. Drag me away from a crush, and I can give you like a little 10-minute tour. Then I'll return to post. We'll figure it out later this week. But that artwork will be up there for a couple of days. I promise. Yeah.
Super cool.
Lots
Check
of
it
great
out
art,
if you
lots of
can.
different
Have it ready.
walls, beautiful stuff in there.
Yeah.
Can we give a special shout out?
Please.
Something exciting happened
Something
there,
very exciting.
like in some of our personal lives,
Yeah.
in a particular
Garland
personal
comic
life.
book universe.
I did lift this hammer today, and in this hammer was an engagement ring for my girlfriend, Reagan, and fiance. Keeps me on track, keeps me fed, keeps me up on my deadlines, and just keeps my life together. And I love you most. Wow. Love you.
What's so exciting?
It was a very good Thor's Day.
It was very good.
Thank you guys so very much. We've done, I don't know how many times we've done this, but every time we do it, it's really cool. And I just absolutely love the gem of a theater that we have here in this town. It's very near and dear to my heart, and that you guys come and support Chabot and us, like, really means the world to all of us. So thank you guys very much for coming. Keep it going.
Yeah.
Small town. I love it.
Yeah.
The small town society stuff, every time you get to
They
have a music video thing coming up.
The music video thing seems really cool, and also like that song before the show was fantastic. That was really great. Really great.
Yeah, awesome. So again, thank you guys for coming to
Thanks,
Chabot.
guys.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Hey,